Hey Tracy, taking a look here at your week 4 assignment. So yeah, definitely important lesson, right? With the cleaning of the mushrooms, really just need a damp cloth to take off any dirt, but we really don't want to soak them in water, or you're never going to get that caramelization that we're looking for. The other thing here, where you're talking about, right, trying to figure out how to brown those mushrooms without overdoing the onions. I had mentioned in live session that, really with this recipe or any recipe that kind of starts with sweating of the onions and then followed by mushrooms, I would always suggest swapping those two things. Right, so definitely browning the mushrooms, right, and then you can also take out those mushrooms at that point, and add the onions in, or even adding onions in at that point where you've got one side that's really nice and brown, and you should end up with sweated, by the time, right, those onions are sweated, right, the other side of those mushrooms is browned. The creminis looks like you have some really good caramelization on here, so you ended up definitely, evaporating some of that excess water and getting some beautiful browning. I'm not so sure about the shiitakes here. Not quite clear that those are in with this mix. I would say with the other issue with starting with onions first here, as you can see, right, there's some mushrooms that are just not touching the bottom of that pan. So really with mushrooms, rip in hot pan, dry mushrooms, single layer, and don't touch them until you get a really nice caramelization. And then, of course, right, not salting them until the very end, because that's going to draw out water as well. But this looks absolutely beautiful, right? The browning in this final picture, gorgeous caramelization on those mushrooms, and completely different flavor, right, than steamed mushrooms. The spinach also looks great, right? You take it to a point where it's just wilted, not disintegrated, right? Really nice job there, sautéing the spinach, and the tofu looks phenomenal, right? You get that really gorgeous browning, single layer, or excuse me, even browning, right? And also kind of a crispy exterior. Yeah, you had mentioned in the feedback, right, or the narrative. Certainly, that cornstarch, which I had suggested, is going to give you a completely different crust. So, just a little bit more of a crispy exterior, something that I prefer. So, yeah, hope that you kind of play around with that. Broccoli looks great, super vibrant, still that crisp, tender quality. And then your pesto looks really good as well. It's not clear, so you talk about two different pestos. You talk about buying the pine nuts and doing those the second time around, and yet, I'm seeing pictures with the pumpkin seeds, right? Both of them, or I'm saying either nut, right, is going to work out beautifully. Right? The pumpkin seeds tend to have a little bit of a cheesy factor, but yeah, that addition of the nutritional yeast would also be a welcomed addition. But looks great. You definitely could take it to a smoother consistency, but I think this rustic kind of sauce looks really good as well. Although this looks like maybe this is your second go at it, right? That kind of finished sauce. I do prefer this consistency here, right, to this one right here. But beautiful job. Let me know if you have any questions. Narrative looks great. Let me know if you have any questions.